Okay, so I know we're all really excited about Sandrone's kit, but the highlight of the patch to me is Lolly's getting a summer skin. I'm going to start frothing like a raccoon with rabies. I need that skin so bad, but I'm getting distracted. Stay focused. Sandrone's kit. Hello there, Flip here, and today we're going to be going over Sandrone, breaking down what her kit does as well as her potential teammates. And if you get more details encompassing her playstyle and all the multipliers we don't have yet, there'll be some calcs toward the end of the video, but I'm not sure we're going to have all of that on day one. So if it isn't in this video, it'll be in a future one. But before we get into all of that, as always, if at any point during the video you're entertained or informed, make sure to drop a like and even consider subscribing, as I talk on various topics regarding Genshin's meta, and I'll try to keep you updated. Shout out to all my lovely channel members, I really appreciate your support. I hope you all too will get to experience the amazingness of Lolly's summer skin. And there's no sponsor for today's video, so let's just get right into it. Now, to put Sandrone on pause for a little bit longer, let's first discuss what Stellar Conduct does. As being the first character of her archetype, it's going to be her main gimmick, and I think it's important you somewhat understand what it does. Under specific conditions, which is just when Sandrone is in your party currently, as she's the only character that enables stellar reactions, when Electro and Cryo react together, it will create a stellar field, and when enemies in the stellar field are hit with Cryo or Electro, the domain will store this elemental energy, and every 3 seconds this energy will be converted into buffs that gives a Cryo and Electro damage bonus, as well as raising the base multiplier of Stellar Conduct damage, and you'll need to refresh these buffs every 3 seconds by constantly proccing Stellar Conduct. Being within the Stellar Conduct field can also enhance some characters' talents. I went over what it does for all the older characters in my last video, so go watch that. And you do also get the base physical reduction that normal Superconduct provides as well, but since Hoyoverse hates physical damage, nothing is really going to come from that most likely. And also Stellar Conduct does somewhat act in the same way as Lunar Bloom, where the reaction itself doesn't deal any damage, but in characters' talents that's where they can deal direct Stellar Conduct damage. And regarding the Stellar Conduct formula, we don't have it in depth, but it most likely will be similar to the Lunar formulas. The only difference that we found out so far is the fact that it doesn't have a 1.6 or 3x multiplier like Lunar Charged or Lunar Crystallized does, so you aren't getting any additional damage from that, but we of course still have the base damage. Now, Sandrone. She is a 5-star Claymore character, and most of her kit is centered around her being an on-field DPS, and there does seem to be some quick swap potential with her. Sandrone has 342 base attack, which is the same as Eula's, and she's also going to be having a crit rate ascension. And similar to the Lunar characters, she has the passive that transforms Superconduct into Stellar Conduct, while also giving up to a 14% base damage multiplier to Stellar Conduct damage if you reach 2000 attack with her. Now, getting into her kit, her basic attacks are actually important, as she's a charge attack based DPS, and this is where most of her scalings are going to come from. Whenever Sandrone uses a charge attack, she will summon the Facilitaire Automatise Generalitiste Interactive et Omanakite. Fuck. I'm not going to be saying all of that. Sandrone shortened down the summon's name to Sandrone. Can you say that? Anyways, Sandrone's charge attack will summon Foggio, and Foggio will kind of just unleash a Nuvolette style cryo beam that when you're in a stellar field will be converted into doing cryo stellar conduct damage. But the gimmick with this charge attack is that it has 100 points, and as you continuously charge attack, you will be going from 0 to 100 points. And when you reach 100 points, Foggio will start to overheat, and will be doing weaker regular cryo hits. The way you fix this is just via not charge attacking with Foggio, as this will cause the points to go down, and if Sandrone is not on the field at this time, then the process of losing points is sped up by 3 times. And when Foggio is at 50 points or lower, they will exit overheat mode and you can charge attack with them again, and start ramping up points. Another way to keep Foggio out of the overheat state is via using Sandrone's elemental skill. And sorry, I just have to read this one for one. With her impeccable ladylike poise, Sandrone boards the Tea Party Tactical Assault Hover Mech, and hovers forward for 6 seconds. We love a classy woman, and for combat related purposes, when Sandrone casts this skill, if there's enemies nearby, she will fire 2 cryo hits, and when inside a stellar conduct field, one of these hits will be converted into being stellar damage. Casting the skill will also instantly reduce Foggio's points by 40, and for every 0.1 second she's on it, you can remove a further 10 points. So the way you'll most likely be rotating with Sandrone is to use her charge attack until you reach full points, cast her skill and stay on it for maybe like half a second until you're back at 0 points, and then unleash another barrage of charge attacks. Apparently the skill cooldown for this is only 4 seconds, so I don't see a reason why something like this couldn't be infinitely loopable to adapt to short or long rotations. This also means that Columbina does have quick swap potential, and you can also maybe do the Nouvellette thing and swap out mid rotations to reapply any buffs. For some reason, every single leaker is recording with C6 Sandrone, so we don't currently know how many hits she gets from 0 to 100 points at C0. Thank you so much. Anyways, regarding Sandrone's burst, it's kind of just a typical DPS burst. She does multiple AoE cryo hits, with the final hit of the burst being either regular damage or stellar damage, depending on if you're in a stellar field. And because the burst does do stellar damage, it might actually be worth using, and you may even be able to stall some time for Foggio and get her out of the overdrive state. Now for Sandrone's passives, her A1 is very interesting and quite loaded. Whenever you cast her skill while being in a stellar field and having over 50 points, when you go back to performing charge attacks, the second charge attack Foggio does will deal 4 times its original damage, and additionally, for every 10 points Foggio loses, Sandrone gains 1 stack of refined tactics for 60 seconds up to a maximum of 10 stacks. So you should very easily be able to max this out. And whenever Sandrone uses her elemental burst, she will consume all of these stacks to increase her burst's damage. And they gave a formula for this for some reason, but if you have maximum stacks, which you should, it's just a 1.5 times multiplier. So it just makes her burst even better for free, and also incentivizes not casting her burst at the start of rotations. Then for Sandrone's Ascension 4, it's just Flint's Ascension 4. Like word for word, bar for bar, it does the same thing. I guess the wording is slightly different, but your elemental mastery increases based on your attack, and you'll need 2000 attack to gain 160 elemental mastery. And yeah, that's about it. She seems to play very similarly to Nouvellette with stellar gimmicks, and there doesn't really seem to be on the surface anything advanced with her kit, like you won't have to learn any cancels or anything, so she should be relatively easy to play as well. Now in regards to team building, most of the units that work with her are going to be the buffed units that I talked about in my last video, so go watch that for more context. But Sandrone is obviously going to want an Electro unit, and because of all the crack cocaine they put in Yai's kit, especially with the fact that you can get C1 Yai for free, Yai is shaping up to just be the best partner for Sandrone currently. But if you don't have access to Yai, because to be fair she was kind of a brick before this, then ultimately you should be able to just run Beidou, especially if C6. She's become a much more independent unit, and she also gives a Cryo Res Shred and 200 elemental mastery at C6, which helps in buffing Sandrone's damage. For her third slot, running either of the Cryo Sustains in Chi-Chi or Diona should be fine. They aid in Cryo application for Stellar Conduct, and at the very least, Diona helps generate energy for Sandrone to burst. And running a Cryo unit also enables the Resonance for free crit rate. Your last slot's going to be the Flex slot where you can run any buffer really. Sucrose has just become a staple at this point. Shalonen with Instructor should also be decent. And because Sandrone and her teammates are attack scaling, Nicole being a team-wide attack buffer is also going to be pretty nice. But you would probably just skip using Nicole's burst in these teams. You should also just be able to double up and run both Beidou and Yai in having dual sub DPSs. And at least for her release, if you want to play Sandrone as a hybrid carry, these are most likely going to be her best teams. But there are of course other archetypes Sandrone should be able to tap into. Hydro and Electro coexist on enemies, so proccing cryo hits on top of this will both trigger superconduct and freeze, while not really hindering any elemental application. This means that yes, Sandrone should be playable on lunar teams. Should be able to just run Sandrone the Divine Wheelchair along with any Electro or cryo unit to complete the team. And while these teams most likely won't be hyper buffing Sandrone, the strong sub DPS damage you get from Columbina and Anefa most likely will make up for it. And Anefa does buff elemental mastery, so due to the fact that Sandrone currently doesn't have her best supports, I can honestly see a reality where something like this is her best team on release. Besides these two team archetypes, for any Sino mains, there is a reality in where you can run dual quick swap Sandrone Sino, since both of them can now be played with shorter field times, and they now both currently run the same supports. In regards to how good it will be, I can't tell you, but it can't be that bad. And as of recording right now, we are still missing so much information from Sandrone regarding her C0 rotation timings, on top of the Stellar Conduct formula, on top of what the Stellar Conduct field buffs are numerically. So unless we get all of that information while I'm editing, I think this is going to be it for me right now. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts on Sandrone's kit right now, as I would love to hear it and I respond to almost every single comment. Channel members, thank you so much for your continued support. It means the world to me. I love you all. Thank you to everyone else for watching the video, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. Peace.